So I'm going to record this, but audio only. So there's no need to show our radio faces on the podcast yet. Good. So how's life in the States right now?
I think I found some sort of normalcy in the unnormal times, but just finding a way to continue moving one step forward, right?
Mm-hmm. So how's the Corona situation with gyms in Texas?
In Texas, at least where we're at in Texas, it hasn't been extreme recently. Everybody's practicing, safe practices, distancing and cleaning and so forth, but gyms are open. Everybody's got to be smart and safe about it, but gyms are open here locally. Yeah. Now, it hasn't been the case for the last year. We were shut down for about 3 months at the beginning. But here recently, at least where we are in Texas, it's a pretty safe environment and a place for people to come.
Got it. All right. So I wanted to take that opportunity because so I had a couple of members on the podcast, and I'm starting to kind of broaden that audience a little bit. And obviously I want to talk to my let's call them fellow gym owners, and not in a typical way that we're gonna brag about of how awesome we are and how much money we're gonna make and we're millionaires already after year one. No, this is literally about sharing some stuff. I mean, we've been working a little bit at the beginning of your gym. I had a little bit of experience here in the gym, so I just want to share the stories about what's actually happening when you open up gyms. So the true struggles, and I would just love to hear some stories from you. So the weirder and the more, let's say, less scripted the stories are, the better they will be. So let's start right off. So introduce yourself a little bit. So basic stuff. So where you're from, what's your education background, your corporate business experience. Why did you transition into coaching? What's your current status? What's your plan moving forward?
Well, yeah, my name, right? Mark McKay. I hail from California and Arizona and grew up farming. So we were farmers, and kind of continued that tradition from grandfather to father to myself, and I was outdoors all the time farming. And so I just kind of continued in that space. Started a landscaping business. So similar to farming, I was able to farm people's backyards. And that just took me into different places. It took me from Arizona to California to Texas, and sold my landscaping business and jumped in with some of these big commercial outfits, and really got involved in what would be a corporate environment. So I spent the last 15 years in large commercial landscaping businesses, managing, people's portfolios. And so, the green thumb, that's my passion, is having a green thumb and being outdoors. But I did spend the last 15 years kind of compromising a lot of that because I was really wrapped up into the big business kind of corporate environment. So even though I was doing something I kind of enjoyed, it really got to be a chore. And so it was, when I opened my gym 18 months ago, it was kind of on the back of re-looking at my life and what I've been doing the last 20, 30 years, and kind of coming to a fork in the road saying, I want to do something a little differently. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I think I need to transition out of this called big business world and be more mom and pa oriented. I really wanted to have a face-to-face people time, really wanted to spend time and impact individuals versus a big business. So did have a passion for fitness and had been exploring coaching and fitness and healthy lifestyles and healthy living. And so that was an interest of mine. So I just continued to pursue that interest and continued to develop and learn. And I think this passion just overtook me, kind of the crossroads of being burned out at my job with actually falling in love with inflicting pain on myself physically through our workouts and exercises, and wanted to see others be able to kind of have that same experience. So I left my corporate job and opened the gym, kind of out of passion, but more so knowing that I needed to make a change for me and hoping that it would change others along the way.
Mm-hmm. So what's the name of your gym? I mean, obviously I know it, but everybody else wants to hear it.
So our gym is named Circus Strength Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And, that kind of came from a couple different thoughts I had in my mind. I feel like I've attracted maybe some weirdos along the way, some circus freaks, and people that just don't seem to fit in into your mold. I feel sometimes I'm one of those guys that just doesn't fit in. I'm kind of awkward in social situations. I don't know how to play the game the right way, and so my own path and beating my own drum. And so it seems that those are the kind of people that I'm attracted to, and those that are maybe attracted to me. And so I have moved a lot in my life. I've picked up tents and moved and kind of bounced around like the circus. And so it was appropriate for me to name my gym the Circus Strength Academy.
Mm-hmm. So you opened the gym like 18 months ago, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about like your expectations about opening a gym? So coming from even like a business perspective, but more so like, okay, what was your vision? What was your like main intent of opening a gym? I mean, you've mentioned it already a little bit, but I mean, in the business world, we would call it like marketing strategy, or what's your brand positioning. So more or less, like what was your thought about making your gym a unique place?
Well, I had experienced life-changing, physical changing, some experiences through CrossFit, and because I was pretty much of a couch potato several years, and CrossFit got me off the couch and kind of got me started moving again. And through that, I really enjoyed the people I met, the relationships, and starting to move. But I found myself getting injured, maybe pushing myself at times where I shouldn't have, or really not really understanding how I'm supposed to be moving at certain workouts. And so I found myself injuring myself. And so the thing I love to do, I couldn't do. And so what that means is it was really very important for me to pass that on to others, that maybe others that had been hurt or injured in the thing that they love to do, whether it was weightlifting or swimming or biking, those that had some injuries that were coming in the way of getting healthier and being fit, that they could come and find a place to where not only could they repair those injuries, but they could still find a level of intensity that was safer, and just kind of get that same feeling that they got from whatever else that they enjoyed. So I guess my passion was to draw those that were either burned out physically or mentally from what they were doing, and come experience something a little bit different.
I mean, just to clear things up a little bit here. So you have opened up and are still running a boutique gym. So because maybe people will think about like a global gym style gym, but you're running like a very specific type of, as I call like brick and mortar, like the boutique gym style, where you don't really care about the amount of members, but you care about like every single member that's in your room. So just to get some numbers, like how many members did you have like at your peak so far?
Yeah, at my peak in this last 18 months, my peak was 20 members.
Exactly.
So that
So a very, very small group of people. I mean, we've met personally, so I know how much you do care about people and why you opened up your gym. But so people understand like the backside and the aftermath of your project. Like you and correct me if I'm wrong, but you did not open up a gym to get like 100 members in the first year, right?
right. I wanted the gym to pay for itself. That's it. Pay the
Yeah.
bills. And I really, really, really want myself and my members to have a connection, so that I could really understand what they're going through. I don't want them to be just numbers, people that I didn't know exactly what ailments that they may have. I really wanted to be, I guess, their personal coach and gym owner at the same time. So it was really important for
Mm-hmm.
me
Mm-hmm.
that I understood each member personally and their goals were and are, and maybe what problems that they've had. And so a really customized, almost one-on-one approach, but in a small group environment.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about your starting phase. So you had that thought in your head, you want to open up Circus Strength Academy, and here I am. I'm Mark. I'm a coach. So let's describe it, in your own words. Let's say the first 6 months, like, and especially if you want to share it with us, especially about like insecurities that obviously came up when starting a business, insecurities about how to coach people, insecurities about like this is a personal side note for me as well in here, like who am I in my own gym? Like, am I representing my gym in a way that it's kind of representing whether it's the name or the facility or the equipment that I'm using? So just like drag us through the process of the first 6 months, because I know it has not been very easy.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, it's interesting because it's real exciting, right? Those first 6 months are exciting. So you're excited. You've got a new place. You want to show it off. You want people to see what you're doing and what you're up to. And so it's exciting. And I think a lot of things that hit you a little bit later are hidden because of that excitement. And so you've got that excitement getting you going and then pushing you through each day. That excitement wanes when, let's say, maybe 3 months in, I'm at the gym alone, right? Waiting and sitting and waiting. And okay, there's a class coming up and nobody shows up, right? So it's just me. And so that begins to weigh those hours of alone time when people aren't knocking on your door, they're not coming in, they're not working out. I'm doing what I think I know to do to get the word out, but there's just nobody coming into your store. So I think that begins to weigh because there's a lot of quiet time and almost too much time to think. And I can only work out so many hours in a day to keep my mind off of who's not walking in. And so I think that began some of the insecurities is, what am I doing wrong, A, as a coach, or B, as a business owner, that people aren't, coming in. And I knew that I had assumed that maybe my gym would not have people just driving by, popping in all day, because I wanted to be more specialty. I wanted to be different. And I did not want to sacrifice my beliefs for numbers. And so I just didn't realize how much that cut the numbers by really putting yourself out as a different product, how that really reduces the amount of people that may know about your gym or may be interested in just trying something different. So it became, one of the surprises of, wow, people really aren't just stopping in. I really need to do something to go out and get people. And that was where I came across kind of a conflict in my maybe my belief and my philosophy is I just have not been uh, the kind of guy that wants to go door to door talking to strangers about what I'm doing. I really wanted the word to get out, you know, mouth to mouth, people that are using, people that are coming, and just really wanted it to be word of mouth more than mass advertising. And so that's been a struggle and a challenge, and it's weighing the how do I get the word out about my gym and what we do versus just getting a bunch of numbers in the door, because I
Mm-hmm.
really haven't wanted to sacrifice quality for quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
would
I
say
mean,
that probably one of the biggest challenges and struggles I've had the first 6 to 9 months.
mm-hmm. So I mean, you've mentioned it briefly, but like sitting. Okay, so you basically started your project. You opened up a gym and you put your heart into it. You invested obviously a lot of money into it, into equipment, facility, rent, blah blah blah. And now you're sitting like in the middle of your gym, like literally no one is showing up so far. Like, what's what was your reaction? And if you wanted to elaborate on it, do so. And what did you do kind of to stay on that path? And what was the transition feeling like to get like your first member in and your second and your third? So kind of your self-esteem slowly building up.
Well, fortunately, we had some friends that I had worked out with in the past that were looking for maybe a new place to go, and so when I opened the gym, probably opened with about 4 people that jumped in and started day one with me. So I did have a small group that started day one, and then I would say I'm just thinking through the path of how I reacted to not having members in the gym. And I made a lot of phone calls and reached out to other gym owners and people that maybe had started gyms, and just to ask them, what they were doing and how they did things differently. And I got mixed feedback. Some
Mm-hmm.
people said, well, hey, the type of gym you're opening, probably isn't going to be something that a lot of people are going to come to. And then had others tell me, no, you just need to go and pass out flyers and door hangers. And and others said, well, just be patient. You just got to keep on putting one foot in front of the other. And so yeah, it's really confusing, right? Because you have invested your time and money, and you just don't know what to do. And so waiting does not necessarily bring the business, right? Just waiting. So it does
Mm-hmm.
require action. And I think that's where one of the struggles, something that, a takeaway, or if I was to do it again, what is that action that when you're sitting there without the members to coach or to help pay for your expenses, what is it you do? What kind of action does one take?
Mm-hmm.
So I dabbled, I sponsored some local events, some Halloween events, and tried to get my name out a little bit on social media. But social media, how many followers do you have after a few months? You get your name out to 100, 150 people, and you just kind of cross your fingers and hope that every person shared that great story. And so hoping for business doesn't bring business. It does
Mm-hmm.
require action, but it also requires a lot of patience. And
Mm-hmm.
if I have my principles that I'm going to violate, then I need to be prepared to accept the benefits of that and the consequences of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did not do any door to door. I just couldn't bring myself to it. Hindsight, maybe it wouldn't have been such a bad idea, but I just couldn't bring myself to knocking on doors and handing out flyers. I really wanted, I really wanted to attract people that were already looking for me, which that's not the
Mm-hmm.
greatest business model.
Mm-hmm. So what about your personal growth within those 18 months? So obviously you've jumped out of that, let's call it the baby phase of the gym, like the first 3 to 6 months. where you're still super excited, and then you're entering like the second third or the second phase of that, like 6 to 12 months time after opening up the gym, and then like after year one, like how would you describe your personal growth, like your learning experiences, your are you still struggling with the same stuff, or is it more of a like up and down evolution?
Yeah, I think it's funny because one of the things that I struggled with at the very beginning was my insecurity as a coach. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to program every single day? And what if somebody's got a problem that I can't fix? And I mean, I put those pressures on myself, and I struggle with that insecurity. And I came to learn over the last 12 to 18 months that, that's really not my big problem. Really wasn't my biggest problem, because the things that I have been working with the members they've been fixing them. Their pains are going away. Their emotions are healing. Their self-esteem is improving. So what I thought was a problem really wasn't. And so as I reflect the past 18 months, that's probably been one of the brightest spots of the gym, is that people are actually getting healthier mentally and physically. And so that insecurity would lingered, and it didn't need to. It didn't need to be part of my mind. Really, it was, my main problems of the last 18 months have been how do you pay the bills and stay in business, and not just with passion. And so I told myself that I needed to break even. 1 year, I just need to pay the bills, not pay a coach, not pay me, just pay the utilities and the rent. And I had enough saved to do that. So I had been subsidizing the business, and I might have had 1 month in the top to where all the bills were paid without me adding to it. But after 12 months, it still wasn't the case. And I think at that point, at the 12-month point, because I had made this deal with myself that I needed the business to be able to pay for itself in 12 months, that wasn't the case. So then here, a 12-month period, I had to think about, what am I going to do now? Do I just continue to wait and hope? Do I do some sort of action? Do I promote some silly plan to bring bodies in? Or do I need to find a way to do something different? And so I came to the point to where I wasn't ready or willing to give up the gym. And so I picked up my old business, and I started a second business to help help pay the bills at home and subsidize, the gym losses. And so from a financial standpoint, I was able to finally, after several months, or about 2 or 3 months of starting that business, I was able to, pay a few of the gym bills a little bit easier. But again, now I'm working full time outside the gym, and then trying to have something left inside the gym. And so that became maybe the next big mountain to climb.
So let's talk a little bit about the coaching side of things. So you said you thought that like your lack of coaching, inexperience of coaching, or just your insecurity about your coaching level was like tremendous in the beginning. So probably like self-doubting yourself. How would you describe that, like in the current phase? I mean, you said it's become a lot better, and it's not actually the case. So what do you think is the gap between how you felt back then and how you feel right now? Because yes, obviously you've improved over the last 18 months, but it's just been 18 months. So your coaching was pretty much like spot on already when you started. So what do you think was the gap? Was it like wrong expectations, or was it like lack of feedback, whether it's from yourself or from your members? What do you think?
Yeah, so I really do excel with feedback. And so when I'm not hearing from others, how they're doing or how they're feeling, or is this gym, is it bringing some importance to them in their life? Then I begin to doubt myself, and not everybody feels obligated or comfortable sharing feedback, and maybe I haven't felt comfortable asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you put those two together, that says, hey man, Mark, if you really want that feedback, you need to ask for it.
Yeah.
And if that's something that you could do, right? And so huge thing, right? It's so obvious, but ask for it. People will be happy to give it to
Yeah.
you. And but I was so unsure of myself that I have put my own body and mind through every workout that I programmed for the members, because I want to know exactly what that experience is like,
Mm-hmm.
um, before they begin. And so I would say at 18 months, I can finally not do a workout and have a good understanding as to what they're going to go
Mm-hmm.
through. Um, there were times where I may not have tested the workout, and I programmed it for the day, and probably put the other members through some pretty bad pain, maybe a little too easy, too hard. But after time, I think you learn exactly where those boundaries
Mm-hmm.
are. But so yeah, I would say made it through the doubting of myself. Finally, have gotten feedback from some members, and I'm seeing their lives change. So I think that's been helping my self doubt of, am I effective in what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm. So looking back at those 18 months, if there's one thing you like in retrospective could have like asked for or wished for, what would that be? It can be like an advice to yourself. It can be, I don't know, somebody who could have helped you with like external feedback, more feedback from your members. Like, what were you missing in those 18 months the most?
Um, well, how I'm wired, I was missing from day one, probably that ally, maybe a mentor slash, somebody who's going to go through it with you,
Mm-hmm.
and sharing that on a daily, weekly basis. I think I was either didn't know I didn't know, and so didn't know what to ask for or what not to ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you've got a pain in your shoulder, but you keep on working out until you can't anymore. I think I had these business pains that I didn't really ask for help until I was desperately needing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think probably from day one, it's to align yourself with somebody that can walk you through, the first 3 to 5 years, and be there alongside of you. Um, would probably have been one of the best things I could have done, and just been willing to take that advice, and have that person just there alongside the journey. So I think that would be number one thing I could have done differently.
Mm-hmm.
Not not after I jumped into it, but actually beforehand. Might have had helped me answer a lot of the questions, or even set up the gym in a way that could have been more successful off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I thought about is, it's really not critical and necessary to have a big box where you have all your equipment. People really, at least the people I've been trying to introduce, they really aren't caught up in where they're working out, or how big the facility is. A parking lot would have been just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, a tight knit community that meets on a regular basis in a parking lot might have been a better start, until some stability was there with the regular membership, before finding a space to rent,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
investing in a lot of equipment.
Are you realizing what you're doing right now? You're giving the perfect quote unquote advice to other gym owners out there, and this will help so many people. And I love that, because just that basic thought of, okay, you want to start coaching, you even want to, I don't know, start your own gym. like, okay, do this in a backyard or do this in your garage or go to the park, and try to make some money with it so you can survive, save some stuff, and then you're gonna, I don't know, rent like a 20 square meter apartment or room or whatever it is. So, and honestly, I ran into the same, like, let's call it in the same hurdle, in the same challenge is, I mean, I opened up a huge gym with about like, I don't know, $6,000 of monthly rent, which is just fucking, I'm sorry, which is fudging stupid. Let's be honest. No, it is. Because then you're in that loop of, hey, but I need X and Y amount of members to kind of break even. And in my case, I was like 60, 70 members, which is a lot, which probably has taken me, I don't know, even almost like 2 years to get that. So there was a lot of time and a lot of money being spent on stuff that wasn't actually necessary. So maybe we as gym owners have a wrong like impression of what people are looking for in training. And I blame myself first for it, because I thought I was like, okay, let's do a warehouse, let's do like all the fancy equipment and everything like quadrupled and tripled and everything, like everybody's got like his own rower and his own barbells. Like, I think people don't care. Honestly, I think people don't care about if they have to share like a barbell with somebody, rather than they're caring about you being there for them and just like having a good time and awesome training and literally caring about them rather than having fancy equipment. So I tip my hat for the that's really good advice, by the way. This will help a lot of small gym owners understand that maybe we've been told wrong, or maybe we had the wrong expectation of people coming into our gym. So I really like that thought. So maybe you should be the person helping.
And not only,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, not only does the amount of equipment not matter, the name of your gym, the social media presence you have, none of that matters either, because really the people are coming, in my case, to work out with me.
Exactly.
You know, they want to work out with me as their coach and their fellow members as the people that they're with. They could really care less about what I name my gym and how I decorate it, and it really didn't matter. So 6 months ago, I had to sell a couple pieces of equipment, to pay some bills, and fine. I have more floor space now, and now I have to think about. I've got a couple less bars, but that's fine. We rarely use barbells anyway, and so you become more creative in the tools that you have, and the people really haven't. They haven't needed them. They haven't needed them, and we're really missed them.
So awesome. Well, I've taken already a lot of your time. Is there any like story, thought you wanna share, kind of to finish it off for today?
I mean, last little thing on my mind might be, so I'm kind of at a crossroads. Is what's next? What are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Are the doors going to be remaining open, or are we going to close down the business, the box business, and maybe retool and kind of reinvent? Do something maybe back to basics, and that's kind of where we're at right now, trying to work through that and figure out what's next. What I can tell you is I've been visiting with members and talking with them about that possible transition. It's interesting. We do make an impact in people's lives. We don't realize it, and we don't know all that they're doing every day and what they're going through, and just the outpouring of the feedback now as we begin to talk about things, about how lives are being changed. So it's maybe not measured by the number of gym members you have. And I think that's important to understand. We're changing lives, and that's what it's about.
Nice. So, where's the gym located? Like, tell me the street and like whatever department is in.
We are north of Houston, Texas, in Magnolia, Texas. We are on FM 2978 in Magnolia, Texas. So
All right.
yeah,
So Houston people, if you're looking for an awesome boutique gym with a passionate gym owner that puts his heart into it, whether it's a part-time gym, whether it's just 2 classes a week, I've met you in person, and you're a great person first, and a very good coach. So whenever you want to check out that area, like go to Circus Strength and see what true coaching looks like.
Awesome.
All right, Mark. So far so good. So if you're up for it, I would like to get back to you in a couple of weeks and just to continue, like, how's your story going? How's your evolution? How's your transformation, your transition going? Whatever happens next, I would love to keep myself and everybody else in the loop. And yeah, thanks for your time. And I hope we're going to talk soon.
That sounds great, Greg. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right. Thanks for taking the time, and we'll talk. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.